Well, let's just start with the fact you guys are kicking off this tour here.
I know. There you go. Mixtape Tour, 22, Cincinnati.
How about that? Are you ready to go? Are you excited about the tour?
Yeah, I am, yeah. I mean, to be honest, there's a bit of nerves because I've never done this before.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, new kids, they've done this a bunch of times and had guests come with them.
Sure.
I've never done that. And also, I haven't played in venues like this before. I maybe played a few big venues back in the day, obviously, in America. But if I come to America now, I'm doing smaller theatres. And with these guys, we're playing in front of 15,000 people a night kind of thing. So it's crazy, but it's great.
You mentioned back in the day, had you worked with or met with any of the artists that you're going to be working with back then?
No, not back then really,
Yeah.
no. I mean, I guess the weird thing is a lot of the time, you're all doing that. You're all kind of,
sure.
You kind of say, oh, they were there last night, you know what I mean? And stuff like that, but it's very rare. Sometimes at a big radio thing, you might all get together sometimes, but no, but I've been FaceTiming with Donnie quite a bit actually about the whole show and how it runs and how it works, and so yeah, no, I feel pretty good, to be honest. I think that the thing is they know it so well, they know their audience so well,
right?
So I don't really have any fear of getting it wrong, because obviously I've been talking to them and making sure that we're all on the same. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now
I don't feel like it's walking into the lion's den at all.
It'll be a very friendly crowd you'll be walking into, I think. Yeah. So I was looking at your Twitter page, and I saw you mention that you're really looking forward to just sort of taking in just how much of America there is.
Yeah, well, also as well, I don't love to fly, and obviously I have to do it, you know, to come to America anyway, or Australia, or wherever it is. But when I get there, I tend to rent a car myself. I'm not going to do the tour myself, obviously. That way I'm being driven on the tour and what have you. But so, for instance, I drove here from LA. Oh, so which is quite a drive.
Wow, yeah, that takes more than a minute.
Yeah, but I really enjoy it because when you arrive in a town like Cincinnati or wherever, you've kind of got a vibe of what it is before you've even got here. Not the town, but the sort of the makeup around it.
Yeah.
And I've probably been to places a lot of Americans have never been to. Do you
know what I mean? You drove all the way from LA. You definitely have.
Yeah, but I mean, cool. And also, you know, I went from the desert, obviously, you know, going through Vegas and all the rest of it, going into Colorado Vale and that sort of area through the mountains. It's just gorgeous. And like I say, that's one of the things as a kid. I'm 56, by the way. So I grew up watching a lot of movies that showed that kind of America a lot, not just the cities.
Especially kind of out west.
Yeah, and all of that. And so it's kind of nice to drive through it and go, it's real. It's not just, you know, it's not just cinematic pictures. It is real.
I am just imagining it in my head. Rick Astley drives across America. I mean, that is a streaming series that people are ready to watch, I think.
There you go.
But are you able to, you know, stop at some little roadside this or that?
I did a little bit, but obviously, again, you know, I was trying to get here. It's not like I'm just ambling across America with no time frame. And also the beauty of what we're about to do. It's 57 shows, 55 cities or something like that. There's a lot of traveling, and the way we're going to do it, we're doing it on a bus, and we're actually going to drive in the day because we want to see some of it. So we're going to get up early and actually see some of America. And again, you know, our driver, Nat, we know him, he's done a couple of tours with us before. So we just say, look, Nat, you know it better than we do. If you know the best barbecue place in wherever, take us. Let's go.
Yeah, and you got to check out, speaking of restaurants, you already checked out one really good spot that you've been in town.
Absolutely, Soto, I think it's called. Yeah, amazing, amazing place. And we were talking to one of the chefs there last night, and he said, well, actually, you should try the place next door. So we're going to try and do that tonight. But it depends what time we finish. We're supposed to be doing a, you know, getting ready for the tour.
Getting ready for the show, you got a little bit of a show tomorrow night.
Some priorities. Food comes second, only just. But,
just barely. I love that. Yeah. So how much time? There are so many great artists obviously involved in Mixtape Tour.
It's amazing.
How much will you be on stage? How many songs do you even kind of figure that out? Is it organic a little bit?
That is an absolute secret. But obviously, let's face it, the guys, new kids, it doesn't even say new. I don't know why I keep pointing. That doesn't say new kids up there. But anyway, the way I view it is their tour. There's no doubt about that. And we are guests, or I'm a guest. That's the way I view it. So obviously I'm going to sing my biggest song for sure, and just have some fun with it. I mean, I think the whole concept of it being a mixtape is amazing. That's one of the things that sold it to me, to be honest, is that they don't really treat the other artists like, well, you're just there to warm the crowd up until we come on. They don't have that attitude at all.
That's cool.
They go out there, they get it all rocking, and then introduce a guest. And I think that, for one, I think it's just really great that they do that. It's also kind of brave that they do that, rather than saying, well, let's get somebody else to warm. They don't need warming up. They don't need warming up. They're going to need fire extinguishers in there before they even go on stage. So again, I think that's one of the things that sold it to me, that it's the last few years that everybody has had, we just want to go out and play. And we did tour in the UK October, November. We managed to actually do our dates that got postponed, which was great. But my wife and I, she manages me and we travel together all the time. We said, look, what an adventure. Let's go to America and have 3 months in America. And, you know, and let's face it, you know, like you say, great artists, amazing songs. The set list is incredible. It's just boom, 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 boom. And that's hard to achieve. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've all had a few hits, but when you actually gather them all together, it's crazy. It's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, it is pro. That's why it's called the Mixtape Tour. So I can remember listening to the top 10 countdown on the radio where you would, you know, record
and
your
friends
favorites.
making you a mixtape.
Yeah.
You know, a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, making you a mixtape, and that is, I think from a having memories of first getting into music and finding and discovering music, we didn't have the internet back then. You know, but when I had my records out, the internet was a CIA dream. Shouldn't have said that. Really.
Now you're on a list.
Yeah, exactly. You know. But I think, you know, it's still there. People make playlists for each other. You know, a younger generation just, I guess, finds their music in the exact same way. It's just the mechanics of it are different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's still friends saying, have you heard this? It's just we had to physically make something for somebody and give it to them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, I think we're going to have a lot of, you know, reminiscing on this tour because of the music as well. We've had a few laughs about that already because I think it's just good to be realistic and honest about the evening we're trying to do. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. And who you're doing it for.
Exactly. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to, and after this last couple of years, that's what I want. I kind of want to have some fun right now, you know?
Well, and I was going to mention in the last couple of years, and I really appreciate you've been very generous with your time.
No worries.
You've done some really cool things and things that for a lot of people seemed a little outside the box for you, hanging out with Foo Fighters, doing stuff like that.
Absolutely.
What was that like the last couple of years where probably you were hearing from people and hearing from fans who maybe don't normally listen to your stuff or haven't in a long time?
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the amazing things that has happened to myself is that I get to play festivals I never thought I would have done.
Yeah.
And I always call myself Uncle Rick when I play the festival. Because I'm usually quite a bit older than most of the people there. But I've actually sort of hung out and worked with a couple of bands who are younger than my daughter, actually, or same age and what have you. And that's kind of bizarre. I've done a few project things with them recently, some bands from the UK. And obviously, again, you know, you bump into bands like Foo Fighters because, okay, they're headlining and you're on at 2 o'clock at some point or whatever. Yeah. But you're still in that eclectic mix of, we've got this, but we've also got that, and this is going on, and there's a guy going to do this. And it's just, I think that is the way people digest music today is very much more like that. Yeah. Like when I was a kid, you either liked rock, or you liked soul, or you liked whatever, but you didn't tend to find people who kind of said, well, I like it all, and I dress like I like it all. Yep. You kind of like dressed like you were a big fan of Madonna or Metallica, and there wasn't much, you know what I mean?
Not a lot of crossover there.
And now, both of those genres and both of those kind of artists fit together on a lot of people's playlists that wouldn't have happened, I think, quite so easily. So therefore festivals are way more eclectic than they've ever been. So that's why Uncle Rick gets to play a few around the world, and that's why I bump into people like Foo Fighters or some of the younger bands that I've met in the UK and different parts of Europe and stuff.
Well, just how collaborative everybody's been too. Not that people didn't work together back then, but I guess maybe they just didn't have the opportunity.
Yeah, but also I think because people just literally get in touch with other people. Yeah. Because it's kind of easy to do that. In the old days, someone would have to write a letter to an agent or a manager even, or a record label, or some letter that might do it, or somebody knows somebody gets on the phone. Yeah. You just go bump, 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 bump. What do you think? Yeah. And all right, people don't have to reply, but someone in their team's going to see that. Sure. And so I do think bands have got way more, and artists have got way more opportunity to connect. You know what I mean? So. Yeah.
Okay. I can't possibly let you go without asking the question that every annoying reporter like me asks at this point in the interview. Have you ever rickrolled anyone? What's your favorite rickroll story that you've heard?
I rickroll people almost every time I do a gig. Let's face it, right?
You have to,
But it's really weird that, because I think certain people think I would have negativity towards it, and I certainly could have done. But I think because when it started, I'd kind of quit for about 15 years, and I just started again doing gigs, mainly because my wife and daughter kind of put my arm up my back and made me go and do a tour in Japan. Okay. Because I used to get offers to do gigs in different parts of the world, and when Japan came along, They said, no, we're going. Because they knew that we'd have a great time, we'd get looked after, we'd see it in a totally different way than being a tourist and all this of it. So we went, and I went out and sang the songs, and it was like a giant karaoke for me, because I was like, this is just bizarre. It was bizarre. And obviously, you know, the guys and girls on stage with me, and we had a great time, and it was fun, but it was it was weird, if I'm honest. So around that time, or just shortly after that, the Rickrolling thing started. And so I think I was so new to coming back to singing some of those old songs. I hadn't done it for 15 years.
Yeah.
The only time I sang Never Gonna Give You Up, Together Forever, whatever, was at somebody's wedding. And I mean a friend's, by the way. You couldn't book me.
You couldn't.
It was a friend's. I sang at about 3 or 4 different friends' weddings, actually.
Love that.
Yeah, I still do it. Well, I'm actually singing at our friends' kids' weddings now. That's what's amazing. It's great.
That's awesome.
It gets me right there.
That's awesome.
So I have a slightly different relationship to it than I think people would think I do, because it's not like I've been singing those songs for 30 odd years.
Right.
I literally stopped for 15 years, maybe more actually. So I've sort of come to it kind of as an adult, really, and as just a different human being, a dad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've got distance, even though they're part of my DNA, and I'm unbelievably grateful that I've got them. That I've got a bit of distance to it as well, you know, because I don't know, I just got away from it for so long. So I'm all over the Rickrolling thing. If anybody wants to do anything with that song, put it in a TV show, do anything you like, I'm all over it, because it's a memory for me. It's great. And it just keeps keeps its head above the parapet occasionally, which in today's billion things a day going on, it's kind of nice, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I've never seen someone not smile when they hear that song, whether it was Rickrolled or they came up in the playlist.
I have.
Well, I have it. Rick, thank you so much for your time. Really generous with that time.
No
thank
worries.
you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Nice to talk to you.
That was awesome.
Thank you.